This is Black Views, bringing you the black news, political insight, and corporate understanding. If you are a foundational black American, living in a major city, living in an urban area, for that matter, regardless where you live, think about what it would be like if Kamala Harris would be your president. Black men would feel even more distance from the political game. Black men will feel even more distant from any type of representation. Look at the representation that we have now as far as the Democratic Party. I mean, for that matter, you could look Republican as well, but it doesn't matter. We have no political representation. Can you just imagine? There will be more and more illegal aliens coming over the border. There'll be no way of tracking them. There'll be more sexual trafficking. There will be more violence. There will be even more drugs brought into your black communities. Remember, many of your communities where the drugs aren't manufactured there. They're bought into your communities and distributed from the locals. So understanding where you have illegals that are coming over that are untracked, untraced, no documentation, they're able to move in and out. The cartel could recruit some and basically have them do different missions throughout the country and not be traced or tracked. And the Democratic Party just seems to not even address those concerns, or the concerns of illegal aliens coming over unvaccinated. We're not even talking about race. We're not talking about one group versus another. We're talking about illegal aliens that are coming into the country that are not vaccinated, not tracked, and we have measles breakouts now that are breaking out different areas all over the country. But the news media doesn't report these things so that you don't have concern for that. And then next thing you know, we have an epidemic upon us we didn't know anything about because the news media never said anything. So just imagine there would be more focus on identity politics, being concerned if you were a man or a black man and a black woman. Just think about how the identity politics have breaking up the black family. Where it just used to be black people, it's now black men, black women, LGBTQ, that's black or what others, and I don't know them all, so I'm not going to try. But the whole point that I'm saying is the group politics is what pitted us all against one another. First it was the woman that came with the feminism that started the whole, well, I can do it better than you can. And then now, guess what happened? Suddenly the women became the alternative to hiring black men. Less and less black men are getting jobs. Less and less black men are, think about it. Let's think about the epidemic that we currently have. But I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to go into that. We were supposed to be talking about if Kamala Harris would have become president. There would be all the things that you see where all the monies were going. No one would have ever said anything about U.S. aid. No one would have ever said anything about corruption, the politics. No one would have said anything. There would be no investigations. It would have been business as usual. I just think that it's scary because that was the party that was so-called the party for the foundational black American, the African American. But we have delineated from the term African American because there are tethers that are coming over here from Africa and saying they're African American. Therefore, they're trying to kill our lineage. Okay? They're not African American. Well, you can be African American, but we are foundational black Americans. We are the people that served chattel slavery in America and have been here before 1865. That's who we are. And if that's not you, then that's just not you. That's your problem. You can be whatever you want to be. You know, I made a video yesterday where I talked about Maxine Waters. Look, people like that will be in charge. Look what they're telling the soldiers. She's addressing the soldiers about who they should not shoot. Why are you talking to them? They have orders, ma'am. And the president is the commander in chief. He's the highest officer in the land. So whatever you're talking about, you can talk, say whatever you want to say. But he's the elected official that's in charge. And I say this, you know, for foundational Black Americans. You know, a lot of us are, you know, we're being doctrined to believe that, you know, Donald Trump is evil or Donald Trump is against Black people. He can't be that much against Black people because all the policies that he put in place are benefiting Black people. He's getting these people out of here. If they want to have people for the job, then maybe they need to train Americans to work these jobs. And then from what I see, that's what's going on. Look what the tariffs did, bringing money back to bring down the debt. Nobody else cared about that. It was business as usual. Business as usual. That's why I say it's something different about him. You might not like, I know he says boneheaded shit. He really, really does. And he might, you know, but remember, he's a white guy, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect him to understand everything the way you understand it. I mean, you know, he didn't grow up with you or did not grow up in your neighborhood, but there's some things he has in similarities. He understands what it's like to be barraged with corruption. The president understands what it's like to be lied on. Those are some similarities that Black people have gone through in America. You know, one of the things with foundational Black Americans is that since the 90s, the undertow degeneracy have had the forefront of Black society, foundational Black American society. The America has been forced to look at the degenerates of our class as our primaries, which they are not. They're not smart enough, but they're paid, they are monetized to act accordingly. And white supremacy uses that to basically feed to the rest of the world that somehow everyone doesn't have a job. Everyone sells drugs. Everyone doesn't have a father. You know, there are some Black people that don't have fathers, and we understand the reasons why. And let us focus on how to try to, allow us to criticize those actions. But when you have outside that's talking bad about what's inside, when you are the original creators of those issues, it's not gonna fly. And knowledgeable Black men are gonna call it every time. It's not gonna fly. You're not gonna sit there and say what you wanna say, and then we're just gonna stand here and take it. So back to about Mr. Trump. I like what I see as far as deportation. Right, if you are here illegally, you must go. Look at the current status that we are in. We have Black politicians that are constantly pitching for this. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's just like they're not talking about what's going on in the districts that they represent. They're not even talking about the crime. They're not talking about the things that could fix us as a people in urban areas where the people are the most destitute. It's like they overlook that for some reason, and then we're talking about Ukraine. We're talking about Palestine. We're talking about Israel. We're talking about these entities that are outside of us, that are even outside of our country. Foundational Black Americans have been invested in this country. Their blood have been in the service of this country. Every war before the creation of the United States, our people have been here. Not a Mexican. Okay? Not a Mexican. I'm just being real with you. There's a place called Mexico, and I'm not here to I'm not gonna argue about what white people did, because guess what? We have our own thing that we're trying to get as far as reparations for the country that we are citizens of. We are citizens of this country. the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendment. That belongs to us, upon which you foreigners have taken the 14th. But that's why Mr. Donald J. Trump is trying to bring this before the Supreme Court. So you see what I'm saying? So all day long we can sit here and we can try to, talk about him being racist or something that he said or this or that, or he's friends with these other white guys. Hey, listen, there are a lot of white guys that are racist. They're rich and he's a rich man. And guess what? He's gonna rub shoulders with them because that's his group. That's, you can't, look, expect nothing else. But you can't sit here and tell me all the presidents that I have lived under that this one is not the best. By far. As foundational Black Americans, I have always said, we cannot be emotional about what party that we choose to participate in. We must focus on the tangibles, the policies, the things that are going to uplift the foundational Black Americans. A lot of you out there act like you're not. Hey, you don't have to be. You don't have to be part of anything, because the changes are going to be made by the few, the 10%. There's always going to be the 10% that's going to come through and make it right. So you're always going to have buddy fuckers and people that's going to latch on when things start to get tread. That's what they do. Right now, everything is monetized to be, booty ass kisses, and that's basically what it is, to get likes and clicks. You got brothers on here saying ridiculous things. You have tethers that cosplay foundational Black Americans, and they make the most content that is disgusting and degrading to Black people, and this is what's being shown as, oh yeah, that's Black people. No. Be where you say you from. No, we Nigerian acting like this. No, we are from Lagos acting like this. No, we are from Kenya acting like this. No, but they want to say it's Black. And so we're always, whenever there's a negative action or a negative understanding of something, you're Black. Whenever it comes to achievement, whenever it comes to accolades, you're from whatever homeland you're from. And which brings me to discussion with, hey, we got Mexicans here that are here illegally, right? We have legal Mexicans here, law-abiding citizens, whatever. They don't like us, who cares, whatever. And then you have illegal ones. And what I don't understand is how you got the illegal ones that are just sitting out here in the street, beating on their chest, and you have the legal ones. They're aiding and abetting the illegal ones. But guess what they don't do? They don't have the same fight, the same vigor in their homeland for the cartel. So it only tells me that you are the cartel. Because all the things that you're asking for, all the things that you're fighting for in America, you won't do it where you're from. You have this whole thing down here called Mexico. Plenty of land, a beautiful place, by the way. And they push the Black people all down like in the southeast. You know what I'm saying? Trying to push them into Belize. Kind of that's what they did to all the, all the Black, the real Mexicans, right? The indigenous people of those lands, right? They just push them all around. Just like they did with us, they do with us. Their job is to hide us. Their job is to make the world see that there's something other than what is true. We're not supposed to be seen, like the Aborigines of Australia. We're not supposed to be seen. The only reason why we were seen is because foundational Black Americans are the salt of the earth. They had no choice. We'll always rise through. We'll always push through, no matter what it is. And that's how we're always going to be. So, you gotta think about that. Man, have you heard Gavin Newsom and the rhetoric that he's using? He's going around using the word civil war. He's talking about civil war. Talking about Trump's going to make civil war. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Something is fundamentally wrong with that party. Something is fundamentally wrong where it's like they're actually trying to break this country up. I'm not saying it's the best, but law and order has to come first. And I'll be damned There's some legal aliens about to come over and then become American citizen overnight. Because this would have happened if Kamala would have been president. They would have been citizens overnight, and they would have been given subsidies and contracts and been given everything because they're now citizens. They would have been given opportunities to build stores, build industry, and it would have been over top of us. That's basically the job of the Democratic Party, is to take money away from foundational Black Americans and to funnel it into everything else, to totally dissipate us. That's it. They want to mix us up and get us on out the way so that there is no plane. That's their job. That's been their job. And people don't want to see it. And so when you see people like Maxine Waters, see, those people are monetized. I mean, look how long she's been in Congress and like has the worst district. Like, I mean, it's like, and then it's like nobody else can just beat this old lady for some reason. It's just because it's all fixed. It's all finagled. It has to be. It's just no way. Look at Jim Clyburn. I mean, the worst districts, and they come out and they speak. They don't have anything good to say about what, or information or knowledge for Black people to say something. You don't hear any of that. Look at Jasmine Crockett. Same thing. Look at Dallas. A lot of things going on with Black people in Dallas. How come we should have more opportunities in Dallas? It should be the Black people in Dallas should be getting benefits, contracts, and subsidies so that they can flourish their neighborhoods. Why isn't that happening? That's not happening. You know why? Because she wants to talk about Ukraine. She wants to talk about LGBTQ. She wants to talk about everything else. So if you really pay attention to this, something is diabolically wrong. There's a problem here. And everybody's just been ignoring it because they've been paying attention about, Diddy and Cassie and their little fantasies and their little freak-offs. It's just the flavor of the week. That's all it is. Okay? There's just a whole bunch of distractions so that Black people will pay more attention to that. And then have all the celebrities come into the court, and then everybody's they can't even see it. But they're waiting on it, paying attention to it, making videos about it. But nobody's really making videos about this game that's going on, where they're just killing off Black people. Yeah, they just move us around, make sure you don't own nothing. Just move you on around, just move you on out the way. And then here's a new group that comes in, and they set up shop and they prosper. And then they say, you see what happened? They tell their children, you see what happens when you work hard? Meanwhile, while we have been subjugated, we have been targeted, okay? We have been schemed against, we have been planned against. There has been every type of attempt to throw us under the bus. So there would have just been more of that if Kamala Harris would have been president. Black men would have probably felt more. Oh my God! I mean, there'd be more shows. There would be you would have men able to go into the women. And just think about it. There is no females out here that are like busting down the door to come and pee in men's bathrooms. But there sure is a lot of men that somehow, for whatever reason, they put a dress on, they feel the need that they need to go and take a piss where the women use the bathroom, where the women use the bathroom. That's what I'm saying. That's called degeneracy. That is called evil. That is called, to me, that's cult. That's not right. Okay, that is not right. And you have LGBTQ drag queens dancing in front of children, indoctrinating them into, that's that. Children don't know. They're just gonna do whatever that's being exposed to. Okay, so if you expose some degeneracy to them, they're gonna grow up and be odd. They're gonna grow up and be odd, and then you're gonna say they're being bullied, and then you're going to take the masculine kids and punish them and take from them and give opportunities to, LGBTQ, like you see now. When you go in corporate offices, and then the higher you go, you start to see that they are LGBTQ. I had a friend of mine who, he was a government contractor also, but I worked in IT. He worked as an accountant. just various, because we lived in the DMV area, so we got various jobs. We had clearances, we got various jobs. But anyway, he was in the accounting field, and I remember he told me that his contract was coming up. They're about to expire his contract, and he had indicated to me that so he was told. And the brother, he's one of those El DeBarge looking brothers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this the brother that looks smooth, cool. That that they got good genes. And he was approached by his SCS or his executive, staff, that basically, if he would allow him to go down on him and do fellatio, then he would be able to extend his contract and also up his pay. And see, these are the type of things that are going on. So like for instance, if you are a straight man, you don't play that, that kind of stuff, man. You just trying to come to work, you trying to work hard, you trying to be knowledgeable, you trying to understand your craft, and that's what you're concerned with. You're not gonna make it. You're only going to go so high, because when you're going to get to an area where you're going to come across them, and they're going to feed, they're going to like feel that off for you, that, oh nah, he don't like his butt pinched and his butt and his back touched and shit like that. He's not going to go for that. So we're going to need, we're not going to just don't hire the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That is what we're experiencing now. And so that's how you got the Diddy shit. It's the same way in Hollywood, and all positions of power is getting to the point where it's just LGBTQ, and it requires, they're gonna want to eat your ass from the back. And you know what I'm saying? That's what the Roy Hogan would say. But I'm just saying, that's the type of shit that's going on. And brothers that ain't down with that shit, you're just gonna, what we call lat move. You're gonna move sideways, not up. You're gonna move over to the next contract or the next job that might pay a little more, but maybe have a little more responsibility and less pay, but you're not gonna move up, because the higher you go, you gotta be LGBTQ, and you gotta play the role. You can't come in there. You can't come in there with a chiseled jaw and be like, yeah, I'm coming to work to tackle the problems. No, they don't want that. They don't even want you to be too smart. If you come in there act like you know everything, they're gonna get rid of you too. And that's why services are not working properly today. If you call for technical support, what you hear? I mean, let's just call it like it is. I mean, you hear Asians answering the damn phone, right? And that, or it's, I don't know, man. I'm trying to go deep into that, but it's everybody else that has a job but Americans. And yet, it's almost as if like they're trying to bring in, the Democrats are globalists, okay? And they're trying to bring the world in, okay? They're trying to bring the world like into America. And they're trying to kill the people that are here originally and make it something else. That's what it seems like. Because every time you look and see who's talking in Congress, or look and see what mayor's talking, they're like fucking all foreigners, bro. I swear to God, it's like they're all foreigners and shit. And it's like, I don't have a relation with that. I'm an American. I'm a veteran. I'm a lot of things in this country. I'm a football coach. I mean, a lot of things. And it's like, I see people that come here and they only care about one thing, and that's their own purpose. They don't care anything about what's going on. Soldiers that die, police that die, people that have to join the military. One, because they love it, and probably two, because it gives them opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care about that. They come here to get contracts, subsidies, and goddamn benefits. And that's the same thing Elon Musk got. Billions of dollars worth of subsidies and all types of shit that he did not deserve. Yeah, think about it. African American. He's from South Africa. He has spaceships, he has missiles, he has all this type of technical shit, cars and shit that he has developed. But South Africa is still fucked up down there. He don't want to work with the black people or the black presidency that's going there. So he not gonna hook them up. You see what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm saying, like the type of people that you have. And then he's working in our government. It's like he's here. And now think about it. Now he's talked so much shit. He done threw Donald J. Trump under the bus, talking about the Epstein files. I mean, it's just like, it sounds like a female, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like as soon as they get mad, they go as low as possible. They go as low as possible. And that's what he did. And this man has access to billions of dollars, bro. He is the welfare king. Like, he got access to billions of dollars, 14 kids. And the president said he always high on ketamine. The president. I don't give a fuck about what Trump say. I don't give a fuck about what Elon talk about. Elon is like I said, he's a welfare baby. He's only a billionaire by proxy, by way of United States government. We have made him, my tax dollars have made him billionaires. Think about it. We have made other billionaires with our tax money, but none of our tax money, just our tax money alone, foundational Black Americans, just our tax money alone cannot go to a project that enables foundational Black Americans to prosper. We can all check a box and say, okay, I'm foundational Black. I'm gonna try. Okay, all these people that say they're foundational Black Americans, okay, we're gonna recoup their taxes and we're gonna distribute it to, but no, nah. You see, it doesn't take, I'm not an economist. I'm not any bright-eyed scholar, but I can think to myself things that can be done to assist us. But we would rather send billions of dollars. I ain't even talking about millions, billions of dollars to everybody outside of us. And so that's why right now, I have to really go along with what Trump is doing. Let him do what he do. Some stuff gonna be good, some stuff gonna be bad. Think about it. How many black people are not out here just committing crimes? So even if he was to deport the worst of the worst of the worst, the killers and the murderers, we're tired of having them in our Black communities. We're tired of you putting them back into our communities. The same ones that commit the crimes, you got them back into the community where there's already animosity for the crime that was committed. And you just keep doing this to us. And then you have Democrats, everything. So you can't say there's racism because y'all Democrat, man. Listen, these people don't speak for us. We are trapped. Foundational Black Americans have the grassroots, which is the only representation, really, really strong, that's out here vibing, talking collectively, that you can depend on for information, news, and proper understanding. Because anything you hear on CNN or Fox, some of it might be okay, and then some of it is some lies added in with the truth. They can't tell you nothing about how foundational Black Americans live like a foundational Black American. And like I said, it's some of you that's gonna say, I ain't no foundational Black American. I'm da-da-da-da. Do what the fuck you want to do. You don't have to listen, but I know what my lineage is, okay? You know what I'm saying? And those foundational Black Americans, we know who our lineage is, and we honor that because we honor our ancestors. So if you wanna, you can do what you could be like, what's his name, Umar? He out here just talking, man. All he doing is gathering donations, okay? He gonna say whatever. He gonna get pussy and donations. That's all his brother's gonna get, okay? I've been watching him for a very long time, and he's seen shit popping. I mean, he's a very knowledgeable man. But I don't hear shit popping. All I hear is him just say, the Republicans bad, this, and guess what? He ain't got nothing to say about Kamala Harris. So once again, in closing, it would be more of shenanigans if Kamala Harris became president. I think it would be even worse for foundational Black Americans as far as occupation, training, and our youth, because our youth has been infiltrated, the schools have been infiltrated with straight foreigners. They're just pushing us over. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna all group up, have a little area, vote in who they wanna vote in, and then once again, Black people will be just shifted around and never have any kind of true representation, because remember, this all started in the beginning. You had red line district. You had all type of laws, regulation that got us moving around like we are today. So, if you are a white supremacist and you choose to be ignorant and just, don't research nothing, don't know nothing, and don't even reply. Don't even say anything in my comments because you are a weirdo. Okay? So this is Black Views, bringing you the Black news. Please like, also subscribe, and remember, every day is an opportunity to fix your situation.